when I was going to come out to my parents, I was prepared for that relationship with them to change entirely. I didn't expect them to just fully write me off, but I thought that the relationship would change. My parents are both born and raised in the South, raised Baptists, conservative political views. I wasn't sure how things were going to proceed. I also wasn't sure if I was going to tell them. I didn't have a plan. I had no plan. I had just separated from my husband, and I had told them that. And I didn't want to share anymore because I was still trying to figure everything out in my own head, you know. I don't know that I was necessarily prepared to burst out of the closet and be like, here I am. And it just kind of unfolded because my mom was like, what is going on? Like, what reason could you guys have to be separated? And meanwhile, my sister, who has been divorced, is telling me, it's no one's business what's going on in your marriage. You don't have to share with anybody. And I'm like, okay, I don't have to say anything. She's right. It's my business. However, as the days went on, my mom was like texting me, like, are you okay? Like, how are you? The morning that I came out to her, she said, text me at like 8 a.m. said, how are you? ... Really? Question mark. And I'm like, oh my God, she knows I'm going through it. You know, she knows. And I texted my sister and I was like, she's not letting this go. Like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to say. And my sister again reminded me, like, this is no one's business. And I texted her and I was like, I know, I was like, I'm just going through a lot right now. And I was like, the problem is that I'm questioning my sexuality. And I'm like, literally like, send the text and I like throw my phone. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know what's happening. Like, why did I say that? You know, I wasn't planning on it. And she was like, questioning your sexuality, like boys are gross. And I was like, not that boys are gross, but that's just not really what I prefer. And I was just like, you know, I'm still figuring it out. And her follow-up was, is this an early birthday gift for me? Like, do I get to get a pride flag and put it in my front yard? Like, she was excited for me and happy. And it made me feel like, okay, like I can do this. You know, she's okay. And then she was like, do you want me to talk to mom and dad for you? And I was like, I didn't even think of that as a possibility. Like, and I was like, that actually really could be the way to go. Because I wasn't sure that my mouth could physically form the words to say that I'm gay, especially at that time. And, you know, it kind of felt like she could cushion the blow for them a little bit. And I think like that was the best route to take. So my sister called my parents to tell them about what was going on, and she explained to them, you know, that I was questioning my sexuality. I didn't really know what that meant, but that's where I was at, and that's what was weighing on me so hard. And she texted me afterward. My sister texted me afterward, and she said, you know, it went better than I thought. They are definitely in shock, but I think, you know, they're okay. They're not mad. You know, they're not upset. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen from there. I wasn't sure when I was going to hear from my parents again, but I was just going to let them process the information. And it was later that evening that I got 2 texts from each of them. My mom sent me a text and she said, I loved you before you were born. Why would I stop now? And my dad texted me and he said, your daddy is with you. And like the weight that came off me in that moment was unbelievable. It was like, I didn't realize that their opinion was what was keeping me. And it was like, that was so pivotal, you know. I remember it felt like I could breathe. I felt like I could eat, you know, again. And meanwhile, I had thought that the things that were holding me back were more so the fact that I had to in my marriage and that it was impacting my kids and what all these other people would think. But really it was that I thought I was going to lose my parents. And I think that's a hard thing to grasp as an adult. Why are you afraid to lose your parents? Because I take care of myself, pay my own bills, I'm a fully functional adult here. I don't need my parents. But you need your parents. You need their support. No matter how old you are. And that is a level of understanding that I wish parents of teenagers had, of kids that are coming out. How much those, 16-year-olds need their parents just love them. I needed that love, and I was 37 years old. So I am so fortunate that they have been supportive, and that they have been open-minded in the way that they are. And it's not to say that my parents didn't have grief surrounding my marriage ending. They absolutely have. But I gave them the same explanation that I gave my husband when we were going through our separation. Divorce doesn't mean that we're not family anymore. My mom continues to call my ex-husband her son in love, because you don't divorce family. And they still communicate with them. The holidays that we celebrate together, he's there, and it's a good feeling, I don't think I had anybody resist my decision. I don't think I've had relationships change a little over the years, friendships change, but no one has completely bounced out of my life. I've been very, very lucky in that respect. I think part of that was that I've surrounded myself with some really great people, and I'm sure that there's got to be people on Facebook that unfriended me along the way with my coming out post, but have I noticed? Nope. And that's just it. The crappy people weed themselves out, and if people aren't going to be accepting of what your life, how you're living your life, then you don't need them. And as sad as that is, I love everybody that I encounter. I consider everyone that I have a conversation with a friend and someone that I, part of my arsenal here. Not everybody sees that the same way. And it does hurt, to see relationships change over the years, but it's one of those things that happens, and people weed themselves out.